Welcome to Mind Atlas, a newborn map to the timeless mysteries of thought, existence, and truth. We're just starting out, still shaping our voice. Subscribe only if it truly resonates with you. But comment your thoughts, suggestions, even criticism. They guide us. In the midst of chaos, there was within me a stillness I could not explain. This is not a story of a philosophy lost in dusty scrolls. It is a story of survival, of minds that refused to break when the world around them shattered. Welcome to Stoicism, a 2,300-year-old path carved not in temples, but in prison cells, on war-torn streets, and inside the restless minds of emperors, slaves, and rebels. This is not history. This is your today. We begin in Athens, around 300 BCE. A city exhausted, its golden age long faded. Socrates had been killed, Plato's academy was waning, democracy was wounded, and from across the Aegean came a man, broken, broke, and shipwrecked. Zeno of Citium. He had lost everything in a storm, but in the ashes of that misfortune, he discovered something else, a scroll about Socrates. It gripped him. He wandered into a bookshop and asked, "Where do I find men like this?" The bookseller pointed at Crates, the Cynic philosopher nearby. Zeno followed. He studied under Cynics and Megarians, but he found extremes on all sides: pleasure-obsessed hedonists, emotionless cynics, radical skeptics. He wanted something deeper, grounded. So he taught in the Stoa Porcili, the painted porch in Athens. His followers became known as Stoics. Their ideas, radical. Virtue is the only true good. You don't control events, only how you respond. Pain and pleasure, not evil or good, just signals. In a time of war, corruption, and betrayal, it wasn't comfort they sought, it was strength of character. Zeno's student, Cleanthes, a former boxer who carried water at night to survive, continued his teacher's legacy. He wasn't flashy, but steady. Like Stoicism itself, he composed the Hymn to Zeus, where God was not a bearded man in the clouds, but Logos, the rational force behind the cosmos. And then came Chrysippus, the system builder. He wrote over 700 books, integrating logic, physics, and ethics. He argued, the universe is a single living being. Emotions are judgments, not afflictions. Philosophy is not words, but medicine. Under Chrysippus, Stoicism became a full doctrine, rigorous, intellectual, and deeply human. But still, it was academic. That was about to change, because Stoicism was about to meet Rome. Rome, a republic drowning in decadence. Enter Cato the Younger. The first true Roman Stoic in action. He walked barefoot, slept on the ground, read philosophy in the Senate. He refused bribes, called out Julius Caesar. When the republic fell and dictatorship rose, Cato chose death over submission. He slit his own veins in defiance. Seneca called him the perfect Stoic. To Cato, virtue wasn't theory, it was fire in the bloodstream. Epictetus, a slave in Nero's Rome. His master broke his leg, leaving him permanently disabled. Still, Epictetus said, lameness is an impediment to the leg, not to the will. He gained freedom, opened a school, and changed the world with no possessions. His teachings? Brutal in their clarity. It's not things that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Don't wish for things to happen as you like. Wish for them to happen as they do. His student, a Roman nobleman named Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius did not ask to be emperor. He was chosen, perhaps reluctantly, for a role that most would kill to obtain. And yet, he ruled not with an iron fist, but with a philosopher's pen. Born in 121 CE, in a Roman empire bloated with excess and entitlement, Marcus found refuge not in the pleasures of court life, but in the wisdom of Stoicism. Trained by philosophers like Junius Rusticus, He was introduced to the works of Epictetus. But what made Marcus Aurelius different was not just that he studied philosophy, but that he lived it. In his Meditations, a private journal never meant to be published, he wrestled with pain, duty, fear, and mortality. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. These were not declarations to the public, these were personal commandments. His empire faced plagues, wars, betrayals, and decay. Yet amid all this, Marcus remained composed. His inner citadel, fortified by Stoicism, kept him grounded. Imagine today's world leaders journaling nightly, not about profits or enemies, but about virtue, empathy, and death. What Marcus gave the world wasn't just governance. It was a demonstration of how deep power can coexist with humility. After Marcus' death in 180 CE, Stoicism slowly lost its place at the center of public life. His son, Commodus, abandoned his father's teachings and embraced cruelty and vanity. The empire declined. The ancient schools of thought were either absorbed into Christian theology or faded into silence. But Stoicism didn't die. It merely went underground, whispered through monasteries, echoed in fragments of Christian and Islamic thought, and passed like embers waiting to be rekindled. The Stoics had prepared for this. Their philosophy was never about external recognition. It was about internal alignment. As Marcus himself wrote, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." The Stoics knew their wisdom was for those who sought, not for those who ruled. In a world spinning faster than ever, where information overwhelms and values dissolve into the void of consumerism, Stoicism has not just survived, it has returned. Rebranded, reimagined, but still rooted in the core idea of self-mastery, rational clarity, and virtue in action. The global revival of Stoicism isn't accidental. It's a reaction, a rebellion against the chaos of modernity. In boardrooms, locker rooms, battlefields, and bedrooms, Marcus Aurelius is being quoted again. Not as dusty philosophy, but as tactical wisdom for life. Why? Because modern life is full of synthetic pleasures and empty accomplishments. Capitalism has won, but in winning, it may have lost the soul. Communism collapsed under its own dogma. Liberal democracies are fractured. Populism rises, inequality grows. People chase dopamine through screens. War, pandemics, ecological collapse. These aren't ancient problems. They're ours. And yet, amidst this existential clutter, the teachings of Epictetus whisper again. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Silicon Valley CEOs keep Meditations on their desks. Soldiers in Afghanistan carried Seneca in their packs. Athletes quote Zeno in pre-game speeches. Therapists apply Stoic ideas in CBT. YouTubers, scholars, teenagers. Everyone is rediscovering the clarity that Stoicism brings. But it's more than trend. It's survival. In an age of outrage, Stoicism teaches calm. In the face of anxiety, it teaches acceptance. Where society screams for control, Stoicism whispers, control only yourself. The Stoic Renaissance in the 21st century is driven not by institutions but by individuals. Podcasts, forums, Reddit threads, YouTube essays, Instagram quotes, they are the new agora. This is a people's movement, grassroots, organic, and yet profoundly philosophical. Ryan Holiday, Massimo Pigliucci, Donald Robertson, modern interpreters, have sparked new fires. But it's not hero worship. It's a shared yearning to reconnect with enduring truth. And it's not just the West. Across Asia, Africa, the Middle East, young minds burdened by global instability are turning inward, finding in Stoicism a philosophy that transcends borders. Is it enough? Is this revival real? The answer lies not in numbers, but in resilience. Because Stoicism was never meant to be preached. It was meant to be practiced. In how you deal with failure, in how you love with detachment, in how you die with dignity. And here we are, full circle. From ancient Stoa to digital streams, from emperors to everyday people. Stoicism isn't just history, it's a blueprint for now. You don't need to renounce the world. You just need to stop being ruled by it. Look around. The world is burning with conflict, but inside you can be still. The economy may collapse, but your integrity doesn't have to. Leaders may fail, but you can lead yourself. Remember what Marcus said. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Let this be your revolution, not against others, but against your own weakness, distraction, and despair. You are not alone in this. You are not powerless. You are not broken. You are, if you choose to be, a Stoic, and that changes everything. In the flickering torchlight of history, Stoicism has stood not merely as a philosophy, but as a refuge. From Zeno's colonnade to Marcus Aurelius's battlefield tent, from the storm-lashed decks where Seneca whispered his lessons into the dark, to the silent prison rooms where Epictetus taught the art of freedom. This wisdom has been fire-tested, but now it is your turn, not as a student in a dusty toga, not as a disembodied soul chanting verses, but as a citizen of this fragile, fractured world. Look around you. We are swimming in information yet drowning in anxiety. We measure GDP but not dignity. We post our triumphs but not our scars. The world is groaning under the weight of modern madness, polarized politics, eroding ecosystems, fractured families, and the pandemic of meaninglessness. And yet, the Stoic stands, not unfeeling, not distant, but grounded. To be a Stoic today does not mean to retreat. It means to rise, to stand like the rock against which the waves crash, firm, unshaken, to take your moment of pain and make it a school, to make your joy something earned, not bought. Ask yourself, as Marcus did, each dawn, what will I do with this brief life today? Ask, as Epictetus taught, what is within my control and what must I release? This isn't theoretical, it's practical, it's blood, breath, and backbone. Will you waste another hour reacting to the world's noise? Or will you begin shaping your soul in silence? We live in a world that monetizes your distraction. A Stoic reclaims attention. We live in a culture that sells instant gratification. A Stoic cultivates delayed wisdom. You don't need a temple. You need intention. You don't need incense. You need inner strength. So start today with one breath, one choice, one brave moment where you say, "This is hard, but I remain." Let that be your offering. Not to some distant god, but to your future self, stronger, steadier, and free. This is the Stoic path. Walk it not as a follower, walk it as a fire, and let that fire light the world.